Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. This particular video, I really wanted it to be a live, but every time I've tried to go live, it's not working. So I cannot do something that the system will not let me do, and I don't know why it won't let me go live, because I've gone live once before and it worked. And today, the gods are not with me, so whatever. But I am working on my pred tanks. These are all my different metallics that I'm using. I sprayed, did second coat on the tanks last night, and then I sprayed some of the accessories, and I'm looking at them today to see if they need any additional work, and I don't think the accessories do, except for their details. But yeah, let me let me show you the ridiculousness that I've been up to. All right, so the one that's in the thumbnail, this guy right here, I should probably show you the colors that I use. They're in my I have now designated this. The top portion of it is my airbrushing paint. And then the rest of it's for building because it's got all those compartments, tackle boxes, and toolboxes. I have one stray braid. See how she tried to escape? There. Join your sisters. But yeah, the paints that I used, let's see, Romeo, Juliet, and there's one more in here. Nope, not Sugar Rush. Wasn't you. Let's see. This one. So these are the paints that if I don't drop them. This is my husband's office. The mess is not mine. Okay. So for this one that's right in front of me, it's so interesting how these paints look in the bottle and then how they show up. But for this guy, this is the paint that I used. So this top piece has only gotten its first coat. This has been double coated, and I'm very happy with it. It's pretty smooth. This one I'm not going to double coat because I'm going to spray on some highlights with other metallics. And then the paint that I used was this one. This is Hotline from Turbo Dork. And then this is probably one of the more surprising ones. This is, yeah, look at that. This is the most interesting purple. Let me aim the light down at it. That is the most interesting purple, is it not? And it covered pretty evenly. And again, the turret, I'm not doing extra coats on because one, it has to swivel. It doesn't have to, but it's going to. You can glue it. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna magnet it. But it's gonna get some highlights and other colors. I don't want to double coat it, but this is a double coat on that tank, and I use this color. It's called Romeo and Juliet. Doesn't look like that when you spray it. What's in the bottle and what comes out? Interesting. Now, if you want to know what the color is actually going to be, that's this little bit on the front there. And I highly advise. My sister-in-law got me this for Christmas. It's a paint shaker. They do sell these USB and portable. This one plugs in, super powerful. So you put your paint on it, and it totally shakes it, and you get a perfect blend. For these metallics, I'm not sure I could do it without that. And the one that I'm going to have to do one more coat on today is going to be this guy. I do like the color, but as you can see, it's so light that it's not as even. I'm trying to decide if I want to do another coat or if I want to try to fix some things with the blending. But I'll hold it up closer. So that side looks pretty good, but then you look at the other side and it's like, oh, yeah. So like, do I want to do another coat and let it dry, or do I want to, let it be? So that is the difficult part of something like this. And then on top of that, if I do decide to do that, what I think I'll do first is I'm going to put these back in their container before I forget what to do with them. I've got all of the sponsons painted for these tanks. So check this out. So sponson holder. So I metallic these as well. I'm not sure if you can see that as well, but it's a really light purple. These were actually done with Vallejo. Where is the Vallejo that I used? You're not even going to believe the paint that I used because what it is in the bottle and the way it came out are not the same. Like not even close with some of these. So I believe it was this one. Yeah. Old Gold Gray Violet from Vallejo. So check. Ah, come on, light. There we go. So those came out pretty good. The ones that were really surprising, let me see here. This one here, look at the color of that in the bottle. Yeah, that says green, blue, violet. Look at that. It's white. It's like the pigment is suspended in a solution that will dry clear and leave the pigment behind. Look, this is what it dries as. Is that not so boss? So I've used Turbo Dorks and I've used Vallejos to get these effects. Um, and then also, this is super fun. Yeah. So the Electric Intense Blue, it does the same thing. It's suspended in this white solution. Okay, the guns that are going on top of my tanks. Are y'all ready for this? This is so stupid. Oh, it's so great. I love it. These first coat, perfect. I didn't have to paint the back because that is going in here. So this will be glued in, not magneted in. But actually I might magnet it. Let me not fib and say I'm not gonna magnet that. But I do have to I might do the backs of them. Yeah, because that goes right here. I am gonna magnet that. That way if I want to change guns, I can. So these are gonna be magnetized. So but today I can spray the backs of them because I could not do that. And because they were standing upright to dry. So now I can flip them over and let the backs be sprayed. So that's gonna be fun. And that was my electric blue to intense violet. This is the blue green violet. So I'm kind of keeping them with what I painted them with so I know what I've done because some of these you can't quite tell just by looking what you've done. And then the last one I used was the actual sponsons. They've got this kind of pinky gold effect. It's this one. It says it's red gold, which it does look like that in the bottle. But again, having a shaker makes the paint come out the way it's supposed to look. So here's my plan right now. So I'm actually going to set these to the side because I'm going to use these for highlights on my tanks in a bit. What I want to do is get the sponsons glued on, and the sponsons are also magnetized. So I have one that my husband's going to have to put a magnet back on. This one can be for old shiny pink down there since it needs a little attention. But I'd like to have those dry before I start doing the next thing. So I'm going to set those over there so he can glue that magnet for me later. We pass projects back and forth. My giant Hello Kitty cup is off screen. Can y'all hear me swallow? Probably. It's water. It really is water this time. Um, it's hot. Some storms came through last night, and in the south, like in the wintertime in the south, if it gets really warm, we're all waiting on tornadoes. Like that's just what happens here. So yeah, that was great. I don't think any in my area touched down. Um, I'm originally from Tennessee, and we for the past 15 years have gotten tornadoes really bad. I remember once when I was a kid. I think it was in like eighth or ninth grade. Um, like 3 tornadoes like touched down in the middle of Nashville and just scattered. It was a day. Could not even believe it, but yeah. There's weather no matter where you are. Like, oh my God, y'all can't handle snow. Come deal with tornadoes. Like, oh my God, you can't handle the heat. Go deal with 6 feet of snow. Like, we all have some kind of weird weather. Like, I was in California once for work. This was years and years ago. And I ran downstairs in the hotel I was staying in. I think it was a Doubletree, actually. And I was like, oh my God, there's an earthquake because things are trembling. And everyone at the front desk started laughing at me. They were like, it's just a little one. It's no big deal. I was like, the building's shaking and it's no big deal. So yeah, we all have weird weather we have to deal with. You just get used to your area. So yeah, tornadoes stink. They're the worst thing ever, but it's just part of living here. You can't run from them. You just got to pray to God it's not your day. Let's see here. So what I want to do is go ahead and glue these on to their tanks. So one of these, and then their sponson holder. It goes right in there. And this will stay. The reason this has a magnet on it so I can change out the guns. So the gun that will end up, so these are all magnetized. And then I can clip in the gun that belongs there. So yeah, it's a whole thing. And I like it because now you can turn it and stuff in the direction of like what you're shooting. I know, goofy, right? It's great. So these come off for now. I don't need these. Oh my God, that one pulled it off too. Babe, your magnets aren't staying glued on. I'm gonna let him fix that. That's for him to do. Okay, so I guess I can do this for one. Am I gonna have to do this? I am. Where is the accelerator? The only way to do this quickly is with accelerator. Oh wait, I've got accelerator in my thing here. Sure do. So, all right, let's bring these back over. Come on. I have to do work now. I'm so spoiled. It's not my fault. It's his fault. All right, so what I'm going to do is I know what side needs to go down. We actually have a little template we use for magnetizing to make sure we always have the right end up. We have a couple of those. He's got one, and he made me one. By he made me one, I mean I took his. So what I'm actually going to do here is spray the accelerator on the part that's blank. And accelerator you got to be really careful with because it's an Insta-Dry. And it will take your fingers with it. So I'm now going to... I'd love to do this with tweezers. I need some plastic tweezers for stuff like this, for magnetizing and stuff. I've got toothpicks, not quite the same. But because it's Insta-Dry, you don't want it Insta-Dry into your fingers. There we go. That's one. Gonna let that sit. See, it's already in there. It's probably already cured, but I'm gonna let it sit for a second. And then I need another magnet. So I'm gonna take one of his. See, these are our little, this is a little magnet template, so we know that we've got them facing the right way. When it comes down there, this will be the side we put glue on. I know. He's an engineer, so he thinks up clever stuff like that. I do English. I do English to it. Come here. Ah. The other way I could do it would be to, like, reverse magnet it. But, see, now I know this is the side that I need to put glue on. Because what? Yep, there we go. So that works perfectly. I think what our issue here maybe is these magnets might be a little bit too powerful for what we're using them for. So I might use smaller magnets for other pieces. But you know, you have the power. All right, so I mixed myself up. So accelerator. All right, accelerator is in. Wipe it off on my pants. This particular set of coveralls I wore one night to Work in Progress Wednesday at the hobby store, and I spilled paint on them. So now they're painting coveralls. I don't have my ring on today. There's no trouble in paradise. I'm going to be doing some airbrushing, and the ring rips the gloves. So, because he got me a big one. Flex. All right, so here we go. I got super glue on my hands. There's nothing worse than getting super glue on your hands. All right. Okay, there are worse things, but today that's the worst. In, on. All right, we're going to let that cure. All right, those are done. All right, so set these aside, let them cure. So first, I'm going to glue the sponson holders on here. And the good thing is I don't have to guess which direction they go because there's like a little line in there that lines up with the back of this. So what I'm going to do is sand this a little bit so that the paint will adhere better. I think I'm just going to use my grit sticks for that. Where is it? There it is. So where it really needs to hold is right here. So I'm going to scratch the paint off. This is like a sanding tool. So I'm going to scratch a little bit of the paint off. Okay, a lot of it actually. And that's where I'm going to put the glue. Now, could I glue this without doing this? Absolutely, I could. Will it work as good? No. I learned that lesson the first time I built an entire army. Okay, a kill team. When I built my word bearers kill team, I painted every piece before gluing. Every single piece separately, all of them, like a crazy person. And then when I went to glue them together, which I feel like my husband warned me and I chose not to listen, it didn't work. I know, surprise, right? Let me do both sides. That way I can go ahead and glue them both. So what I'm doing is trying to work in an order to where I can come back around when one thing's dried. I can do the next thing. I like using the point here. I can use the entire file for some things, but now I can be more precise about where I'm scratching off, like exactly where I want it. So this is great for me. But yeah, he did try to warn me about that. It was goofy. Hey, we live, we learn, right? Live, laugh, love. Ah. Oh, sorry for sniffing into the mic. 'Tis the season, y'all. 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season for the sniffles. La 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 la. Achoo. But this is just me working. I don't think I get any more comments asking whether or not I'm actually doing the work. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Or not. It's fine. Husband went to go pick up son from returning from a winter trip. We sent him off on Christmas vacation. Now he's coming back and they're doing some father son time together, which is fantastic. So there's a little groove in there. I painted all these the same. That way it wouldn't matter which one I glued it to. I'm not going to use accelerator this time. I want a proper cure. And that takes about 15 or so minutes. So I've got this up on its side, which it's not going to be able to stay there when I do the other one. Doesn't want to stay there for this one either. There we go. I can't mute my sound. Yes, I can. Watch this. I can probably still hear that a little. Sorry. It's the South. All right. Not only is it flu season, I don't have the flu. I did last week. I had a cold. It was awful. I did Christmas dinner for my family and then fell out. It was so pitiful. I was supposed to go over and do some unpacking for my in-laws, and I didn't get to do that. We'll have to do it this week. But yeah, so we get the allergies and lovely weather events. It's a good time down here. Am I selling the South? Y'all should be proud of me because the first couple of times I did a video from this angle in here, I noticed that I wasn't lit very well from the front. So coming down, I went out and got this cute little light. It's $6. I've got one on my makeup table and one on my desk as well. But I remembered that those were an option. So I need this to line up with that. That's how I know it goes in the right spot. And boom. Perfection. So we're going to let that dry. Look, it'll hold. But I'm just going to let it dry and not touch it. And I'm going to do the other side as well. You gotta love these stream of consciousness videos, don't you? My mind can go anywhere. You didn't plan a script? No, I'm painting. In December, I posted a video, and I appreciate the response to it, by the way. Just addressing a couple of things that people have said in comments, which, me and my altruistic, non-realistic self thought that would never happen on my channel. My channel's so positive. It happens everywhere because the internet's going to internet, and hiding behind it. And let's be real, we've all done it too. We've all been a keyboard warrior for a cause that nobody asked us to fight. It's just, I don't know what it is about us. I don't know what it is that social media has done to humans to make us this way. It is an interesting phenomenon. I hope somebody's out there studying it. Why are we such a way? Well, that feels like it's facing the wrong way. It is facing the wrong way. Oops. No, it says it goes that way. That can't be right. Did he print any of these in reverse? No, it's me. It's not him. It's me. It's me. 100% me. I didn't look to see what was a right and what was a left. But, folks not so much enjoying, not the majority, the vast majority of people who come to my channel are fine with it. Which, same thing with the YouTubers I like. I like the content the way they present it, otherwise I wouldn't watch their channel. But I tell too many stories and that kind of thing. Well, I don't know another way to talk to people except through stories. That's just the kind of person I am. That's the kind of channel this is. So if you like that while I work, what else am I going to talk about? Warhammer? Now, I mean, I read from Warhammer. I read from lots of different books, actually. And what my channel tends to be whatever has my attention the most at the moment. Right now, January is very build heavy because I have an event in 2.5 weeks. I needed to have a few more things finished to have a proper 3,000 point army. So that's got all my attention right now, and that's why I'm talking about it the most. Let's set these to the side because they're gonna get some details in a little while. So that's usually I'm not planning. I don't plan videos out in advance. Whatever strikes me that day when I'm recording, that's what I record on. As far as theming of my channel, it's well-rounded nerd. It's all of the nerdities that I'm into, which is a lot. I have more than one hobby. I just started learning to make mead. I got a whole mead making kit and all the ingredients in my office in the next room, and I'm gonna set that up later this week to start the first ferment. I just want to be unbothered while I do that. Um, I don't want anybody around. I want to be able to concentrate. I have all my instructions ready for me to do that. So scratching off paint. All right, so let's put the right one on this time. And that's what happens when you don't plan. Okay, so does this one? Nope, this one goes on the other side. Or does it? Nope, goes on this side. All right, so but whatever's got my nerd attention in a particular moment, that's what I make a video on. So it might be Sailor Moon. Like I have some series on my channel that I'll start and I'll come back to it 6 months later because something else caught my eyeballs. And plus, me and my husband decided to go to Adepticon, which I'm waiting on January 1 so that I can put in all my vacation time for next year. At the time of recording, it's like the Sunday before New Year's when I'm recording this. Yeah. Had to think for a second. You know that week between Christmas and New Year's, like it's not time. That's where I'm at right now. Like we're just in limbo. That's how it feels at this time of year. Like time exists, but it's just a construct. Come on. That was stupid. Stupid human tricks. Should have done that with the with this on. Okay. That one, and let me make sure I get the one that goes on that side. Okay, I did. Boom. All right. Sponson holders are glued. I'm going to let these sit and dry. Oh, they're so fun. The reason I went ahead and glued them on before doing any details is I want that spray detail to kind of match. Wait, I just said a wordy dirty. Somebody's going to get me. I might have to edit this video. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Which way are they? Wait, did I have them facing the wrong way? Do I have them on the wrong sides? I think I do. Wait, so this one is right. So you can go back, which would make this one wrong. Wait a minute. I need to look and see what this is supposed to look like. Is this dry yet? I don't think it is. No, I'm going to pull these off. No one's going to see the paint under there, so it doesn't matter. Boy, that one's already trying to stick. Like, not come off, stick. Come on. Off with your head. I'm going to have to go back in there and edit out my wordy dirty. Phone. A 30K Predator tank. I need to see which way those face. I thought I had them facing the right way. I feel like I just made a huge mistake. Well, not huge, it's fixable. Oh, it does face that way. So I'm not Oh, so I had it right. I didn't need to rip those off. Oh. Yep. Yep. Okay. So this is the front. And those, okay, because that sticks out to the side. All right. So that's okay. That's why pencils have erasers. So that needed, I did have them facing the wrong way. Okay. Oh, that's glued shut. Where are my pliers? I'm not sure I can get a hold of that. Oh my God, it's got the marks of already having done this. Okay. We're just going to let you be over here. Okay, so that does need to face. That's the front. Let me look at the picture again. So it does go this way. Okay. I'm so glad these are pieces that aren't going to be seen where I've messed it up. My pencils have erasers, friends. Yep, going out the front. Okay, got it. Let's do this again. Tappa, tappa, tappa. I will have to go edit out my wordy dirty. Just in case somebody's child watches this. I'm not trying to be a bad influence on the next generation. Other than buying Warhammer. Yep, it's supposed to go that way. This is the way they're supposed to face. I know somebody was probably screaming into the camera, "You're doing it wrong!" Yeah, well, I figured it out. This is how it happens. This is the reality of doing hobbies like this. Is sometimes you're gonna make a mistake. It's fine. Your day, my day, everyone's day will continue. Um, Life will go on. I promise. Let's see here. What side does this one go on? This side. And this is another reason I made them uniform in color, the sponson holders. That way, if I did make a mistake, I could fix it. So, I'm a little clever. I'm not super clever, but I'm a little clever. Oh wow. It like the glue like ate a pattern in where the little holder was. That's funny. Um yeah, the thing about super glue is when you use it, I mean, it's what it's doing is it's chewing up the material and then dissolving it and then it solidifies together and that's what's creating the bond. Um so super glue is no joke when you're using it. I think this is going to have to go on this one. Pretty sure. Nope. You know what? Who's going to know? They're not going to know. They'll know. They won't know. Let me just adjust this to there. Okay, yeah. No one's going to know. Yeah, that looks great. But nailed it. Totally nailed it. Cool. And then the one that goes on this side. Ah! Glued to my paper towel. Oops. When I was in a private school, if somebody said a swear, we called it a wordy dirty. I know. We were so proper. We weren't. Let me tell you how ratchet private school kids are. Ratchet. um, and especially if it's a school where they can all grow up together, you all know each other way too well. Especially if you start out in kindergarten together and then you make it all the way up to fourth, fifth grade together and beyond. You know everybody's secrets. You know, it's just all information is open to the group. It's a very different environment. But I enjoyed my school. I had a good school. All right, there we go. Now they're facing the right way. I'm going to set these aside and let them dry. Not going too much further ahead. I'm going to tilt this back just a little. There we go. There we go. Now it's even with that one. All right, so these are just going to sit here and dry. Can't do anything with these yet because I want them attached before I start doing the highlights because there's, it's like a driving through battle. So on to the next thing. So I've got some things I need to do a little bit of touch up on as far as my airbrushing. So I'm going to take these pieces that I've already sprayed and give them a home, a temporary home. I need this up here. I'm going to take these pieces and put them in the top of my airbrush container. All my guns. Just a pile of guns. So, take these over here. And these pieces I'm not using. Alright, so what I need to do now is I do need, this is not as smooth on this one as I'd like it to be, so it is going to need another coat. Pains me to do it, but I've got to. So this is the part where I have to glove up. One glove. Now, do we know why we only need one glove? Children? You're not children. And if you are, why are you here? It's because this is the hand that's holding. I'm right-handed, that's why. All right, so I have to make sure this is spraying well. You are going to hear the air compressor. It's kind of loud. Can't do anything about it. So air is coming out decently well. I want to make sure it's clear. So this is water. It's blue for water. And I'm just going to spray it out to see if it's spraying cleanly. On your hand is honestly the best way to know. Because I did a whole lot of airbrushing metallics last night. And the metallics are great, but they will leave a bit of a film on your airbrush. And before I started working with it last night, because I was airbrushing for like an hour and a half last night, I had to give it a thorough cleaning, like take it apart, clean every part individually by hand. I had to get my airbrush reamer out, which I'm actually going to get it right now. The thing I have to pay attention to the most with using these metallics, even though they are made for airbrush, the medium that's used to suspend those metallic flakes, that particulate is really fine. So what I'm doing here is I saw a little bit trying to get past my needle. I'm using this reamer to pick it out, so I don't have to take the airbrush apart. I'm cheating. So there we go. Now I can spray out anything else that might be back there. But I keep my airbrush very clean. Love this thing. This is one of the best tools I ever bought. So now, got my glove in it. So now, there we go. Now it's spraying the way I want. Happiness. So what I did learn is when it comes to using things like the thinner and the flow improver. So this is airbrush thinner. This one's from Vallejo, and this is from Huge Miniatures. What a name. Typically, a couple of drops will do you. What I have found, and this may be the right method or wrong method, I'm just telling you what I did. I have ended up needing to use a little bit more than I would normally use of the thinner on these, and it seems to keep it from clogging up. So this is the paint I'm using, this Syringa, I think that's how you say it, or Syringa. I haven't heard them pronounced by the creator, so I don't know. So what I'm going to do here, what I typically do is if I'm using an airbrush paint, I will backflow, which that means like hold the nozzle. When you put your thinner and flow improver in, you backflow and mix it with the paint. I tried that. It doesn't, the metallic paints didn't seem to like that. So what I do, use about 4 or 5 drops of each of these now. And it kind of almost puts a bubble around the paint, if that makes sense. So that when I drop the paint in, it comes out a whole lot smoother. And I normally wouldn't do this. So I'm going to sit this on its rack, because what I need to do first is these metallics have a lot of flex in them that can settle. So you just want to make sure to give it a good mix. If you don't have one of these mixers, you need one. What does that sound like through the microphone? Probably like a lawnmower, I'm thinking. Turning it up on its end. And the little thing, the shaker came with shaker bowls. So I have like 300 of these. Yay. So good times. So I want to make sure that this has a smooth finish that it can have. So I'm going to spray it first, and I'm going to spray the backs of those guns. So off. So I took a picture when I was painting last night of each one of these tanks next to the paint that I use, because they don't always look out of the bottle the way that they do on the model. So to make sure I could remember what was what. Yeah. So just little tricks like that. And then before I start spraying on my model, make sure it's spraying correctly. Look at that. Oh, that's a perfect spray. So I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to pick it up underneath. It did have a bottom piece, but I did not put it on so that I could do this. And plus, who's going to look at the bottom? But I'm going to go to the side that needs the most love. Notice I'm not right up on it. I'm spraying in burst. This is not an instructional video. This is just stuff I've learned, which I guess I'm giving instructions. But if yours doesn't turn out right, it's not my fault. I didn't tell you to follow me. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm not an expert. What do I always say? I'm just a beggar telling another beggar where they found bread. But yeah, now I'm evening it out. Yeah, that's looking way better than it did before. I didn't want to do this because one, it's more paint, and paint's not cheap. You know what? Let me not talk about stuff being cheap and expensive. Because who will run out and spend $80 on a random transformer is me. But I was worried that if I ran out of the paint, I wouldn't be able to fix it. But I have enough. There's always more in these bottles than you think there is, but there's also less than you think there is, if that makes sense. You have more wiggle room than you think you do. But coming back and smoothing this out, I didn't know if it would be worth it, but now that I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, it was worth it. You know, because I'm not going to do another Emperor's Children army. I'm going to move on to my next army after these guys are done, which will be the Sallies. So I want them to look as good as they can. Will I add to the army? Probably. I've seen them. Y'all keep telling me about these 40K figures are coming out for 2025. I'm trying not to look at them. My pocketbook does not need that negativity. Let me be. But yeah, it's looking a whole lot smoother now. The metallics I have found, I need 2 coats to make it smooth. This one will be like 2.5, really. And I'm not even spraying the whole model. I'm just coming in and finding those paint settling gaps and filling those. Because there's still going to be some highlighting and stuff done, but where it was just too large, where it was super noticeable, I had to come in and do something about that. Mostly because it was annoying me. But yeah, this is looking good. I'm much happier now. Smooth finish. I mean, when I go to Adepticon, I want to be able to field something that I can be proud of, right? I'm sorry for sniffing into the mic. It's just that time of year. Wait till spring. I took an allergy pill last night. I don't know what the deal is. I am coming off the tail end of a cold or whatever it was I had last week. So I also have my airbrush adjusted down not to spray super fiercely, so I can have a little bit more control and make sure I'm getting coverage exactly where I want it. All right, it's looking good. I think I can set that down. I'm going to open it up just a little bit more. And now I want to do the top, the turret. It has some spots that were really janky looking too, so I'm just using up the rest of the paint also. We don't waste paint. Okay, we do sometimes. So the paint that's on these coveralls is proof of that. But yeah. Yeah, it was worth a second go around. Okay, let me not pretend it wasn't. Yeah. This particular metallic is just so light that any mistake is super easily visible. I'm just using the rest of the paint to see if there's just any spots that I can make it better. You're going to get a little paint on the others. It's fine. It's totally fine. They're about to get highlighted here in a little while. And I'm just using up the last of this paint. All right, spraying clean now. What I'm going to do is immediately, while it's still liquidy, the paint is, water, brush. It's a soft bristle brush so it doesn't scratch my airbrush. And instead of spraying first, I'm going to dump. Just dump it out. Now I'm going to spray. You're just spraying it on the table. There's paper towel down. I was raised with some couth. I always have paper towel on the table, which right now I think I'm on like layer 30 of paper towel. I need after I'm done with my Emperor's Children project, all this paper towel is going to get thrown away. And I'll get to the next. So that's been used. Let me set this in its cradle. So done with this. Now the backs of these guns need spraying. I didn't think they were going to be able to be seen. Turns out they are. That is electric blue to intense violet. That's the one I want. I don't want the one that turns green, right? Yep, no, I don't want blue-green. So, you know what we got to do first? Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your paint. Shake your paint. The Vallejos come with a shaker ball in them. Now I know? I can hear it. I don't know if every Vallejo paint does. We use a smattering of paint. I primarily use Citadel on my Warhammer figures because I'm that way. But we are fans of the Pro Acryl. Love the Vallejos. Obviously, I'm a Turbo Dork fan. My husband really likes speed paints. And there's another one back there that I can't quite see the name of. We like the AKs. The AKs have some really good intense colors. What is this brand of paint called? Can't read it. And I've got some Sperry acrylic paints. Those are for painting like plaster figures, because I do those as well. And I use them for my large prints that are non-Warhammer related, like my anime prints and stuff like that. But I also use them for basing because they're tubes of paint. So I based a couple of other dreadnoughts recently. And why is there a figure stuck to him? But yeah, so I can squeeze out tubes of paint and then get my basing effect the way I want it. I'm just spending the day doing Warhammer today. It's the Sunday after a holiday, and I am just done with life. Now, I'm not going to need a lot of paint this time, but I'm still going to use several drops of the thinner and flow improver. And actually, tomorrow, my husband and I are going to one of our other favorite hobby shops to just sit and paint all day after we go to the gym. I just said I didn't need to use a lot of paint, and guess what I did? I can pour it back in. It's no big deal. So I'm going to test spray. And then on here, looks good. All right, so spray in the backs. I'm going to spray it this way. Sorry. Sorry, dear. 1. Let's see here. 2. 3. There, the backs are sprayed. Now, what are you going to do with all that paint that you just wasted? I'm trying to decide if I want to start the highlighting process or pour it back in the bucket. Actually, there's not that much paint left. I thought it was going to be a ton. It's not. So I'm just going to lightly hit the tops of these. Make sure they're nice and even. Since that's the part that's going to show. And then I'll come back for highlighting later. There. No paint wasted. Now, all this is laying here drying, which means this is going to be the end of this video now. Because I have to let this dry before I can do my next stuff. I'm not going to touch anything for 20 or 30 minutes. Let it all dry. I could use the airbrush to dry, but sometimes I accidentally spray out paint instead of just air, and I don't want to do that right now because it took a lot to get a smooth finish, especially on, bright pinky here. Look, when you're painting your armies, lean into it, Like when you see my army, there's no one who doesn't recognize that these are Emperor's children. Everyone knows these are Emperor's children. They are the children of the Emperor. But what I'm going to do is go back and edit out my wordy dirty. Where was it? Don't worry about it. I edited it out. Never happened. You won't even know how I not told you about it. I'm going to edit that out for the algorithm. And I'm going to refill my water. I love this little bottle. It's the best thing. That was some of the advice I got from the painting class, was to use those types of bottles for helping to clean out our airbrushes. Spray it clean. Make sure there's no gunk on the tip. All right. quick release, on the cradle. So it's good to have dedicated painting clothes too, because I don't care if I get paint on this now. I ended up English major that you love to brag about. I ended up repurchasing this clean because I do wear my coveralls quite a bit in the spring and summer. But this one's just for painting, so I don't care if I get paint on it. It's always good to have clothes that you don't care if you mess them up when you paint. I also have a painting apron, like a little smock. I've got a couple of those, so just little stuff like that. But I'm gonna let all this dry. Thank you for joining me. I really wanted this to be a live, but whatever. Um, it happened. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you're having a fantastic new year.